Have you ever spent time writing a thoughtful comment online, hoping it would help someone understand your side? You were polite. You used facts. You spoke with care. But nothing changed. No one agreed. In fact, sometimes it made things worse. They pushed back harder. You got frustrated. Maybe you tried again. Maybe you gave up. Why does this happen so often? Why do online debates, no matter how kind or respectful, almost never lead to real change? Is it because people don't want to listen? Is it because facts don't matter anymore? Or is it something deeper? Something about how our brains work and how the internet changes the way we talk to each other. In this video, we're going to explore those questions together. We'll take a calm, honest look at why online debates rarely change minds, and what might actually work instead. This is Mind in the Mirror, a space for reflection, emotional honesty and deep questions. If this topic already has you thinking, take a second to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who values thoughtful conversation. Now, let's begin. The illusion of logic. We like to believe that people form their beliefs by thinking clearly. We think, if I just show them the right facts, they'll get it. They'll say, wow, I didn't know that. You're right. But that's not how most beliefs are made. Most beliefs don't come from facts or logic. They come from feelings, from our personal stories, from who we are and where we come from. Our beliefs are shaped by our families, by what we learned as kids, by the pain we've felt, and by the dreams we hold close. They grow from the culture we're part of, the friends we trust, the people we see as our side. So when someone online questions one of our beliefs, it can feel very personal. It doesn't just feel like they're saying that idea might be wrong. It feels like they're saying, you are wrong. It feels like they're questioning our values, our choices, our story, and when that happens, logic doesn't matter as much. Our brain goes into protection mode. We stop listening and start defending, not because we're stubborn, but because we feel unsafe. We protect our beliefs to protect ourselves. It's not weakness, it's human. But this is why kindness matters. Because facts don't open minds, safety does, and when people feel safe, they're more likely to listen, to think, to grow. So if we want to reach hearts and not just win debates, we have to lead with kindness, not just with facts. The fight or flight internet, online spaces move fast. We scroll quickly, we type quickly. Most of the time we don't even pause to breathe before we hit send. And the internet doesn't give us the same tools we have in real life. There's no face to look at, no soft voice to hear, no gentle smile to say, I care, I'm not trying to hurt you. All we see are words on a screen, and those words live in a world that already feels noisy, stressful, and tense. So even if we mean well, even if we're trying to be kind, our words might not land that way. They can sound cold, or harsh, because the person reading them, they're not just seeing what we wrote, they're reading through their own lens, through stress, through past pain, through fear or hurt we can't see. And when their brain feels even a small threat, it reacts fast. It goes into fight or flight. They defend. They snap back. They stop listening. And often we do the same, not because we're mean or broken, but because we're human. And being human online is harder. It's harder to feel safe. It's harder to feel seen. And without that feeling of safety, even the kindest message can be misunderstood. That's why slowing down, being soft, and choosing care matters more than ever. The echo chamber effect. The internet gives us so many choices. We get to pick who we follow. We can like the posts that match our views, and unfollow the ones that make us feel uncomfortable or challenged. At first, that feels nice. It feels safe. It feels like we're in control. But over time something else starts to happen. We build a little bubble around ourselves. Inside that bubble, we mostly hear from people who think the same way we do. We see the same ideas over and over. We get used to our way of thinking. And after a while, our beliefs don't even feel like opinions anymore. They feel like facts, like the only truth that makes sense. So when someone online shares a different view, it doesn't feel like a new idea. It feels like they're wrong. Or worse, it feels like they're attacking us. We don't stop to ask, where are they coming from? We just react. And the longer we stay inside that bubble, the harder it becomes to hear another side. Not because the other side makes no sense, but because we're not used to it anymore. We don't see it. we don't listen to it. And we don't feel the person behind the words. That's how echo chambers grow. And that's why stepping outside the bubble matters more than we realize. Arguing to win, not understand. Here's another big reason why online debates often don't work. Most of the time, we're not really trying to understand the other person, we're trying to win. We want to prove our point. We want them to say, okay, you're right. We want likes, agreement, that little feeling of victory. But the truth is, when we're focused on winning, we stop really listening. We stop seeing the other person as someone with a story. Instead, we see them as a problem to fix, or an opponent to beat. We start writing replies that sound smart, but they're not always soft. We try to sound right, rather than real. We search for holes in their words, instead of listening for the meaning in their heart. And when someone feels judged, or cornered, or talked down to, they stop listening too, because no one feels open when they feel small. No one wants to learn when they feel under attack. Even if our words are true, they won't land if the person on the other side feels unsafe. That's why being kind matters just as much as being right. That's why listening is more powerful than lecturing. We don't need to win the conversation. We just need to make space for something human to happen. And sometimes, that's enough to plant a seed that may grow later. Change takes time. Changing someone's belief isn't like flipping a light switch. It doesn't happen in one big moment. It doesn't happen because of one perfect sentence. It's not fast. It's not loud. It's slow. Changing a belief is more like planting a seed. And seeds don't grow when you yell at them. They don't grow when you push them or demand something from them. They grow in quiet, in peace, in warmth, with time, care, and patience. Sometimes when we talk to someone online, we hope they'll agree with us right away. We want to say the one thing that changes their whole mind. We want that moment where they say, wow, you're right. But that moment almost never comes during a debate. Real change usually happens later, not in the heat of the argument, but in the quiet afterwards. Maybe it's days later, or even weeks. Maybe they remember something you said. Maybe they think about it during a quiet walk, or before bed. And slowly, something starts to shift inside. But that kind of shift only happens when the space feels safe, when no one felt embarrassed, or judged, or trapped. Because when people feel attacked, they build walls, and nothing grows inside a wall. So if we really care about helping someone grow, we need to stop trying to win. We need to start planting. Planting with kindness, with softness, with a calm voice, even if we never get to see what grows. Because sometimes, the smallest seeds planted in love grow into the strongest roots of change. How to have better conversations. So, what can we actually do? How do we talk to people online in a way that helps, not hurts? It starts with something simple, not clever words, not the best argument. It starts with kindness, not sarcasm, not gotcha replies, just honest, caring kindness. Ask questions with care, not to catch someone in a mistake. Say, I understand where you're coming from. If you can, share your own story, instead of just listing your opinions. Speak like a real person, not like someone trying to win a debate. Use soft words, not sharp ones. Instead of, you're wrong, try, I see it a little differently. Instead of, this is the truth, say, this is how I've come to understand it. And please remember this, you don't have to win every argument. You don't have to change someone's mind today. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone online. Sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is step away when you feel your own anger rising. Sometimes, peace is more powerful than pride. Real change doesn't usually come from pressure. It comes from patience, from soft, quiet moments, from people who choose to be gentle, even when it's hard. In the end, people may not remember your words, but they'll remember how your words made them feel. And kindness? Kindness always leaves a mark. Closing thoughts. So, what do we take from all this? Arguing online rarely changes people's minds. But kindness, that can. Patience, that can too. Understanding, even more. And maybe most important of all, connection. Because every time we speak online, we're not just talking to a profile picture, we're speaking to a real person. Someone with their own story. Someone who's doing the best they can with what they know. So next time you're about to type a reply, pause and ask yourself, Am I trying to help? Or just trying to win? Am I speaking from care, or from ego? Would I talk this way if we were face to face? These small moments of reflection matter. This has been Mind in the Mirror, where we slow down, look inward, and ask better questions. If this made you pause, or helped you see things in a new light, take a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who could use a softer voice today. Until next time, stay kind, and stay curious.